Life shouldn't be a complicated puzzle. Advocates for thousands of Connecticut adoptees are pushing for a change in law that will allow everybody to have an accurate birth certificate.
If you were adopted before 1983 in Connecticut, your birth certificate only shows your adopted parents' names, meaning you can't tell your doctor your family medical history. Adoptees say it is time for that to change. Our chief political correspondent Mark Davis live tonight with that. Mark?
Hi, Darren and Ann. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. 3 years ago, the legislature changed the law so that those that were adopted after 1983 could get a real birth certificate. But because of a quirk in probate law, those who were adopted before that year were left out.
The birth certificate that I would get when I go to City Hall is literally fake news. It is not accurate.
Kathy Flaherty of Newington is among those fighting for something most of us take for granted, an accurate birth certificate. She is one of an estimated 62,000 adoptees living in Connecticut.
Most of us were born to young men and women who conceived out of wedlock, a shame to their family and a sinner to their church. The ingenious solution to this problem was a 1950-style version of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
As a pregnant teenager in the 1960s, I was sent away to a maternity home in New York City. I was alone when I delivered my child without any family support.
Eileen McQuaid found out that her infant daughter was given to a family that she knew nothing about, and they knew nothing about her. 30 years later, the infant daughter found Eileen after 3 years of searching.
I believe that adoptees should have the right to birth certificates because we don't do adoption that way anymore.
It means that Karen and Kathy and Eileen's daughter have birth certificates that only show their adoptive parents' names. So things like trying to track family medical history is almost impossible.
I had a brother who died at 33 of a congenital heart disease that we didn't know he had because he was also adopted too.
Older birth parents and relatives are dying off. So are some of the adoptees, leaving their children and grandchildren with big holes in their personal family health histories.
We feel strongly that time is of the essence. It's time to end this failed social experiment in secrecy and shame. It's time to treat us as full citizens of our country and our state.
Now, Catholic Charities, which does a lot of adoptions in Connecticut and elsewhere, is opposing this bill, saying that many of the birth parents from this period, that is prior to 1983, do still want confidentiality. Catholic Charities say that they will conduct research and interviews on health records for any adoptees that request it. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.